What are these?
What?
That's
going to change centres off the bottom though.
It's going to be right ball ache getting that. How'd you get that on there? You got to come at it from...
What?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, like that surely.
So why has it got that cut out there? Get the instructions. What's up guys, happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in to my latest video, The Life of a Jobbing Plumber. So I've had a really busy week this week. On Sunday night I flew out to Germany. I went to Nova Press in Dusseldorf and I had a look at the new angle jaws for their press tool. I've filmed the whole trip, so that will be up on my YouTube as soon as I'm allowed to show the angle jaw set. But really, like, I felt really lucky because while I was out there, they actually laser engraved a Nova press tool with my name on it and some jaws. That's being posted over, so I'll have that soon to show you. But yeah, I just felt really lucky to see that. So that trip will be up soon. But this week, this was the first week where I thought I might not have time to get a YouTube video out on Sunday. Just real life just got in the way. But I did a job with Marcus. We did some designer radiators. So there's that. And then the first job you're going to see is a little bit of a moan at Nest. Now, you might remember I did a YouTube video at Christmas for a customer. Went out on Christmas Eve. The heat link failed. He contacted Nest. They said, we'll pay up to £100 including VAT for the first visit and up to £30 including VAT for a temporary control to be fitted. And then they'll send a heat link out and then pay another £100 including VAT for me to fit the heat link, which I thought was really good customer service. They sent it all out within a week. They paid me, that was great. But I had it happen again. So my customer rang me up and said, my heat link's not working, what do I do? So I went round, linked it out, told him to contact Nest, which he did. And they insisted that he get a boxed engineer out and it would be done through boxed. So he texted me and said, is this right? Because I'd explained to him like the process of what was going to happen. And I said, no, you're my customer. They're not sending someone from boxed. So he had to go through 3 different people at Nest and then like a senior person at Nest before they agreed to let me fit the replacement heat link. And they wanted him to give his card details to pay for the boxed engineer before they even visited. So I wasn't too happy about that, but I'll just show you, that will be the first job. And then I'll show you the job with Marcus with the radiators. And if I get time, any other little jobs I've done, I'll stick in as well. So hopefully you enjoy it. As always, sponsored by Power Tool Mate. If you're in the market for some new power tools, Power Tool Mate, use PB5, save yourself some money. And Velocity Pro Gear tool bags. They make a great massive range of kit bags, heavy duty kit bags, including my range of bags. So check them out. Both the links to their sites in the description. Have a good weekend. Enjoy what's left of it. Hope you enjoy the video. Bang a like on it if you like it. Subscribe if you don't already. Obviously that helps me out. And yeah, have a good week. Cheers, guys. Right, so I've got another Google Nest that's failed. The heat link's failed. But listen to this. So my customer rang me. I came out, linked this out to get them heating back on, and told him to contact Nest. So what did Nest tell you when you contacted them?
That I had to use boxed, their supplier for the area, to come out and do it, and they wouldn't let me use anybody else.
So then, boxed. And then they wanted you to pay them before you could order this replacement one.
Yeah, I had to give them my card details to provide them with, I guess, in the security that I'm going to send the old one back. And it took 3 rounds of complaints and comments to get it to the point where I could get you back.
Yeah, because basically I said to him, you're not getting boxed, I'm doing it, it's my job. I've been out and got it going, and I know that they would, because you saw in my previous video, they were offering to pay for the initial visit to get the heating back on 30 quid for a control to be fitted, temperature control, and then 100 quid to come back and fit this. But it's my customer, it's not Boxed's customer, it's nothing to do with Boxed, so I don't know why they've been trying to push Boxed on people, but yeah, not very happy. So, but anyway, we're here now, so I'm going to put this new heat link on, and then this one will get posted back to Nest. Have you paid them any money?
No.
No, so yeah, we'll just do it as normal. I'll invoice for my work, and then they should reimburse you for that. But yeah, a bit of a, well, not a very nice experience really, was it?
Bit of a headache, but we're here. Sorted.
Right, let's get this one on. Right, so I've wired that back in. That's the new one. The old one is there in the box ready to go back to Nest. Now the only thing, the last time I did this, they also sent replacement Nest stat that I guess was already linked up. So I don't know if this one is going to talk to the Nest thermostat, or I'm going to have to set that up again. Find out in a minute. Right, so all I've done is turn the power onto this, and this is now saying heat link connecting, so hopefully it's just doing it itself. So while that's doing now, I'll drink this plant pot full of tea. Failed to connect wirelessly to the heat link. Right, what's going on here? Heat thermostat can't get to heat. Okay, so we've got this setting, replace heat link. Make sure the light is blinking blue, which it is. Continue, enter the 6-digit entry key found on the side of your heat link. Okay, I guess that is that one there. KHB6ER. Okay. Wakey wakey. There we go, connected wireless to the heat link. Done. So we've got a system boiler. So it's a pressurised system, so we're just going to get a system drained, trying to keep the water in the upstairs rads because we don't need to drain them, but we'll see how we get on with that. Sometimes it'll airlock, sometimes it won't. These are the rads that are going on. They're being delivered about 9 o'clock. So for now we're just going to be getting the old ones off. There's 6 to do in total. And then we'll be hanging these. They're on 2 sets of brackets. There's a top one and a bottom one. So I guess we'll be using the lasers today. So we're getting the big one on first. Mark's just took some of the, there he is, some of the pressure off with the wet vac. What's that wet vac called? Charles. And then you've not seen these before. These are called, what are called plumb thumbs. So you get 1/2 inch, 3/4, and you can basically cap off your rad. I think the idea behind them is you can carry the rad by them, but we're just going to use them to blank it off. So if I do that, should be able to pop that on there and then do that up. Yeah, 3 hands today, lads. Yeah.
Filming in it.
So when I spoke to the guy that invented these, he did say that once you put them on, you carry the rad by it, but I definitely wouldn't carry on this size by it. Just use them to cap it. So that's the first one, big one. And we've got this one here. This one here. 2 in this room. Under the windows. And then one on the other side. Just by the door. I'm going to use my blue ones because you're using your greens. Yeah. Because I know what you're like for nicking my kit. If you've watched my videos before, you know what these are. Plumb tubs, but such a good design. 22, 15, 10mm pipe. Wrap it round. It's It's got a lip on there to catch the water. So I've got one on each side. I've isolated the valves, obviously the pressure's off the system. So I'm going to whip this rad off and then I'm changing all the valves as well from these Danfoss ones, because the radiators now aren't being delivered till 10, which is the life of a plumber. So at least we'll have them all off by the time the new rads get here anyway. So taking the olives off, I've not got my olive puller with me, so I'm using Marcus's splitter. So if you've not seen one of these before, it goes on the pipe. You have to get obviously one for 15mm, one for 22mm, but once you've hooked it over and you've got it level with the olive, squeeze it. You see it's cut into the olive there. One there. I don't think I've squeezed it enough. It's difficult with one hand. Let me just do it with both hands and then I'll pop it back on. That was a really tough one to break, but you can see that's what it does. It should do it both sides, but it's only dug in. I think it's the thickness of this. Because we've got a big brass one. I'll try again on a couple ones, see if I can show you any better. But yeah, taking them off so I can get the new nuts and olives on.
Oh, great, doing both.
Doing both?
Yeah, doing both at once with big gloves.
It's not gonna. This is copper one, so pop that on and then squeeze that. There we go. It's got PTFE on it. Danfoss lock shields, if you've not seen them before. Pop that little lid off. It's actually a hex key to balance on 6mm.
You want a cup of tea or coffee? Yeah, I'd love a tea, please. Tea, both milk, no sugar, thank you. Milk, no sugar. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's milk, no sugar as well, please.
Okay, let's see. Right, 2 down. Marcus is on number 3. It's 9 o'clock now. The rad should be here, but what's the reason for the delay?
She said the courier hadn't picked them up yet. As normal, took everything.
So they promised 10, so probably get them about what, 2 o'clock?
Better not be.
So we're going to do this one now. It's freezing today, but it's a beautiful day. I'm just piling the rads on the grass there. Don't want to get any black goo on the white stones. I did a 4-minute, although it looks nice and sunny, it's freezing. I did a 4-minute cold shower this morning. I've still not got warm yet. I'm still feeling a bit cold, but it feels good. Skin feels good. Feeling in a good mood. Muscles feel good. So that wraps around there. And then, obviously with 2 hands it's easier. There we go. So in this situation where it sits on the deck, that's perfect, because anything you work on here goes straight into that. If I open this up, if there's any water in, no, good, but it would just go into this, that's why they're good. If you want one, obviously I keep banging on about how good they are. City Plumbing stock these. I bought all mine from City Plumbing, but I am on the stop at City Plumbing and I have been for 2 years, so I can't use City Plumbing anymore. So either City Plumbing or I reckon they'll sell them on Amazon. It's called Plum Tubs. Plum Tub. Sometimes when your olive looks that clean and copper, it will either twist off, so just very gently grab it, twist it and pull it up, there we go. It all depends on how tight they've done it on the pipe. It's the paint holding that on. So that's the principle. Nice, clean, thin brass olive. Squeeze. There we go. doesn't damage the pipe, just gets the olive. Really typical. The moment you put the kettle on, sit down for your lunch, delivery comes, but at least they're here. So that's the rads. There's the old ones ready for the scrap man to come. So I'll have a cup of tea and then we'll start unboxing these and we'll get the big one done first. Alright, this is the moment when you find out it's got a big scratch. See that in it. Oh nice, only 2 brackets.
Yes.
That's what you want to see. It's heavy though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Stay in the box.
Tell you.
No.
I'll tell you that, what do I bet it was on there? But it's got to be a good 50 kilos.
Oh, hang on, yeah, 63 kilos.
Yeah. What's that?
A bicep come out, mate. So we've laid it on the box so we can measure. Basically what we'll do is we'll work out our pipe centres coming out of the rad, because we've fixed, there's not much play on the pipes. So from this point here and this point here, we'll measure to the bottom of these brackets and then measure between the bottom and the top. And that should get us on the wall, shouldn't it?
Fingers crossed.
You do get instructions. These rads you can put feet on as well. You see, you've got these bits here. Rads on feet. Give you some dimensions on there, but I don't know. Have you ever used the instructions when you hang a rad? I think I have. So.
Can't read.
Can't read. What, are you an electrician?
It's 25 from the bottom of the rad to the centre of the tail.
Yeah.
And it's 15 from the bottom of the rad to the bottom of the bracket.
Yeah.
So basically the rad bracket's got to be 10 mil higher than them on top.
So we'll set a laser up to run straight through that valve, and then 10 mil above that will hang on.
That valve's dropped down, and it can be 200 mil because all the others are 200. So the bottom will be 210.
Yeah, the problem we've got is some of them have got play in, like that one's got play in, but the one next to it must be trapped on a joist or something because there's no play on that one. It's the same for most of them. So we'll run a laser off that one because this one will move up and down. So as you know, me and Marcus, a very professional outfit. We work to strict tolerances. Everything has to be laser. So you see we've got that laser running right through the centre of that valve. Right through the centre of that valve. And we achieve this by sticking 2 plumb tubs together on top of each other. So you see that's level with the pipe, outlet of the PRV, and then 10 mil above. Okay, so the bottom one is on, fixed. Now, the way we get the top one measurement is between here and here is 445 mil. So if you imagine our bracket is on there, we can either take the measurement from the bottom of the bracket to the bottom of the bracket. So there we go. Between there and there, which is 445, or between the top of it and the top of it, which is 445. So that between there and that mark there is 445. So that's the top of this one, like that. So if you're wondering what this spring is, you put that in yourself. So basically when the top one's on, it holds it on, stop it from tipping forwards. It's very weak though, whether this rad's 63 kilos, whether it'd actually do anything, but that's what they are. So that goes in, and then I'm just gonna screw that to the wall now. Right, so ready to lift it on. Get them biceps pumped. Okay, so that's the rad on the wall, and then you just flick these metal hooks over like this. That's it. Sometimes I just stop and think how cool it is that I've got my own range of tool bags. It's just amazing, isn't it, really? Just a plumber from a small village, I've got my own range of tool bags. I've just treated myself to a new set of long-handled screwdrivers because I reckon most of mine ended up in your van.
Probably.
Like my dust sheet.
Yeah, like your dust sheet.
Yeah. that you're using on this job. It's yours now, because you nicked it off me. Right, this one, this rad. So we've done the big one, that was the first one. Now we're doing the smaller ones, the singles. And it's different. So you can see the distance between the pipe centre and the bottom of that is going to be different. So I'm going to do the same again, measure between here and here. Take off for the first bracket on the wall, and then we'll go off the laser line. Oh no. What are these?
What?
That's
going to save sensors off the bottom though.
But it's going to be right ball again. How'd you get that on there? You got to come at it from...
What?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, like that surely.
So why has it got that cut out there? Get the instructions.
Can't skip them.
Just said we never read the instructions. You're going to need one on this one. What's this bit? That obviously goes on, put that together, that and that. Reminds me of that film Planet of the Apes.
I don't know. I can't see.
Oh, fucking hell. Right, that goes, hang on, look, that goes there like this. That hooks onto there, or the other.
Can't be the other way around.
No, the other side.
Oh, that way around, possibly. Stop it creaking.
I just don't know. I'm gonna need the instructions, man.
Yeah, but I don't know what you've done with them. You unpacked it.
I've binned them.
You binned them.
Right, so they do go on like I said, and then obviously you've got the hookers with the the metal hook, and then they just sit underneath like that. And on the bottom one, they do sit underneath. They don't go into that. They sit on there. But then if they did that, if you sit on there, can you see that below the rad? It's got to be like that, isn't it? We'll see. Well, I think that's shit. So you get four of these, so you've got to use them. But with that on, it doesn't fit in there, doesn't lay flat. So it's definitely got to go underneath like that, which is how it is on the diagram, but then that leaves you lower than the rad. So I think that's a bit shit. But so now we've got to measure the distance. We'll go from the bottom of that to the bottom of that. It's going to be lower than the laser line on the wall, because that's lower than the centre of that. But if that's what it is, that's what it is. If you want to tighten your rad tails into your rad using a Joker spanner, the ring end, you've normally got to use a 17mm. But on these Danfoss ones, because this nut and olive is captive, you've got to use the open end, which is a 16mm. 17mm is too big. So alright, well, I'm hoping this is right. So that's my first bracket, and then I've measured from the bottom of that to the bottom of the top one, which is that line there, to fix the top one. So these washers, just a little tip, I didn't know this until I saw someone on Instagram do it, but if you want to buy washers, go to Wilko's, they do a pick and mix. Not just washers, they do nuts, bolts, all kinds of stuff, but you can load up a full bag of them. And it's pretty cheap, isn't it? Was it £2?
£2 for that bag, you get a smaller one for £1, I think.
Small one for £1, so really good. And then just, well, Marcus keeps them in the bag, or just load your box with them. Do different sizes as well. Right, so that's the brackets on. I'll be amazed if this thread goes on. They stay up like that, you need to leave them up, yeah. But if they fall down, you'll never get them on. Don't touch that one.
No.
No, they don't go over. You just need to balance them up.
What?
Why did you touch them?
Because I'm stupid, aren't I?
It took me ages to balance them up there. Some paste like. Why did you touch them?
Because I'm stupid. Sorry. It's my age.
Right. I couldn't film the other one because it's so fucking heavy, but this one we should be able to. So on the bottom, keep it high enough so it drops on the top. No way, has that done it?
Yeah, but how do you
Let's move that pipe out of the way.
get them clips on?
It feels like it wants to go lower. Yeah, it's got, they got pulled. Yeah, it's got pushed down into that because there's plastic on it. That's it.
Turn a bit more.
A bit more to you.
Yeah, we'll put the bracket.
I don't know if you can see. Let me turn the camera around. Hang on. Right, you can just see there. That's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was horrible.
We can get what the little metal clips are for.
That's the right height. Just wants to come in a bit if you can do it. Well, that was shit. At least it's fit. Let's get the level on it. Looks nice though.
Okay, level
1.
No.
I thought he was going to say 1
Beautiful.
mil. I thought you were going to tell me it weren't level then. Enjoying those brackets.
No, not one bit.
I'm hoping because the ones in here are doubles, they're going to be the same as the first one.
Yeah. Plastic clip fell off. Didn't realise.
Shit.
You can only get them on with the bracket off.
Man, very close to the wall. Very difficult to hang. Surely would have been a better way of doing it.
Yeah. The first one was bang
Look
on.
at you sat on that rad.
Yeah, but
I suppose you only weigh 8 stone wet through, don't you?
not even that.
Right, you feeling confident? Yeah. You're struggling.
I think it's going to be more pulling the pipes out if I can get it.
Squeaky.
Yeah, put it down. It is now.
Check the bracket. Yeah, that one's in.
Looks like, is it going to go your way, Tony?
That one's in. It can go my way about 10 millimetre.
That's better. It's a bit.
Is yours lined up that side?
It wants to go your way a little bit more if it can.
Yeah, it can do, yeah.
How much?
You can do another. Whoa. Yeah. Right, where's that level?
Oh, don't put the level on it.
Come on. Me versus thee. Now, don't you get in the way of it.
Oh,
Come on,
now. What's gone off there then? That was with a laser.
Have you? Is that definitely? Which way does it need to go down? Yeah, down.
Yeah,
fine.
down.
Just check that's down all the way.
Yeah. No, that's it now.
There you go.
Oh, 2.
2 mil.
Oh, I can live with 2.
So that single one. That single one done. Marcus is now doing this little single that's on the wall there. The 2 in here though are doubles, 2 small doubles, and luckily they're using the brackets like we used on the first one. So we'll get these all hung now, and then we will fill up. Every now and then good things happen to good people. So that plug there is what was the old bracket for the old radiator. I've put my first one on, and the measurement between the top and the top of this is 295mm, which is exactly there as you look. So before we fill the heating system up, because we're doing a service, just going to check the charge in that. That's an extra expansion vessel. There's one in the boiler, so we're going to check that one. Check the extra one before we fill back the system, because obviously when it's drained down, these are empty. We can put the pump on and check them. So I've got one here as well to check. And then we'll service the boiler before we fire it up, because obviously you don't want to service a red hot boiler. He did it while I was out of the room, but the vessels are both good, yeah?
Both good.
Thanks for letting me film it, mate. It means a lot.
Do you want to come and film it?
No, I don't have to do it again, don't worry. You need to think about yourself. One of the checks we do on a service as a safety device is we look that when we drop the pressure below 0.3, to prove that the pressure sensor, which is this here at the back, you can see that is operating okay. When it drops below 0.4, 0.3, it should come up with an error code. Just go and open one of the valves, just take a little bit of pressure out, see if it faults.
You've been to earlier. They probably watched the pressure switch.
What you would expect to see when it drops below 0.4, 0.3 is it comes up with a fault code. If it doesn't, it means that the pressure sensor there is probably blocked. It's got some shit in it, and that shit is giving it a reading of 0.3 bar when actually there's no pressure in the system. So if it does do that, if you drop on as part of the service, you drop the pressure, drain the boiler, and if it doesn't fault, then you have to replace that pressure sensor. Don't look like it's going to do it, so we'll have to stick a new one of them on. Or we can clean that out. We'll take it out and show you it. So it looks like it also needs a new hot air bottle, so we're going to swap that. We'll take the pressure sensor out and have a look at it, but we have got a new one if we need to swap it. Sometimes you can clean them out if you've not got one on the van. But we'll do that now. There we go.
Yeah, it's faulting, but...
So 0.3, F22 safety switch off, low water pressure.
Boiler fully drained, so it's...
But it's still reading wrong because there isn't 0.3 of a bar and there's nothing in it, because that's the drain point open now and there's nothing coming out of it. So we'll take it out. Do you want to clean it or do you want to put a new one in?
Stick a new one in.
Stick a new one in.
That's the one bit I always struggle with.
What?
Getting that clip off.
Huh.
I don't know why.
So just there. You see that clip at the
Oh,
side?
not my camera, about getting the wire off it.
Oh, no, I'm taking everything out. So that just pulls out the side like that. Just be careful, because if you have got a false reading and you think you drain down and you're not, when you pull this off, it will shoot water straight into your face.
If you want to have a look, that's what the new one will look like.
Yeah, let's show them this. So you can see the hole on the new one. The old one is blocked up. I'm not going to do this on one end, but that just pops out there. Okay, gets the new one in, and then this lead just plugs in that way. Like that. So now we should see it's registering 0 now. The reason this one's registering 0.3 is because there's crap in there pushing on. There's just a diaphragm in there. So now the new one's in, it's sensing that the boiler is drained on 0. Oh God, what are these?
No servicing grips.
So this just turns out, but it's a bit crusty. It pulls outside, but it's a bit crusty, so it needs a bit of persuasion. Let's get this a bit bigger.
It's a bit of a twist, does it?
Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna clean that. We've got a wipe. I think I got the wipe out there. Okay, and then the new which we've already greased up. Pops that there.
Nobody likes it going in dry, do they?
There we go. And then the clip holds it in place. So that's swapped and the pressure sensor swapped. We've already checked the charge on the vessel. So that's all we need to do with the boiler, drained of its water content, so we can fill it back up now. So tighten those back up.
8mm whirrer.
Nice. And then we'll put some pressure in.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
That's 0.4 when it comes out of fault, is it? Or 0.5? There we go, 0.5. 14mm on the clean.
Fingers crossed with it.
Get your where's my attack key gone? Do that now, it should come off easy now. Try it again.
Just a little bit on the bottom. Happy with that.
So clean. There you go, mate. Lovely clean magnet for you.
Put the inhibitor in here for the rats.
So because we drained it down, there'll probably be air in the top half of the heat exchanger. So we always put these boilers in purge mode. So it'll just run the pump without any heat on to get the air out. You can hear it. If you fire one of these up with air in the heat exchanger, it can damage it. Is there still a thermal fuse in these?
I think it was on this last one.
There used to be a thermal fuse.
Yeah, it's still
Probably
there,
still
look.
is. So if it basically cooked the heat exchanger, you blow thermal fuse, it's a new boiler, well, new heat exchanger.
It's a new
Fairly
boiler.
expensive.
Very expensive. Always P0 purge.
P0. It will go between heating and hot water if you've got a diverter valve. This one's not because it's a system boiler, but if you've got a combi, it'll do it itself. Just to get all that air out. Because air is the worst thing for a heating system. So now, I can't see the screen, the camera. So here we go. P1, boiler's operated at max load. Which means the boiler's now going to fire up with its full power. Try and put the case front cover on. Okay, so the boiler's now going to run in max rate. Put that in this sample point. I can't see. There we go. And we always do this with the cover on, and the easiest way to explain that is when you're not here and the customer's using the boiler, the cover's on. So you're checking the performance with the cover on. If you did it without the cover on, so at the minute with the cover on, it gets its air from outside through the flue. With the cover off, it could also get air from in the room, and you'd get a different reading to what it is as it is when you leave it, as it is working all the time, all year round. So always with the cover on. You see loads of pictures on social media, people doing this check with the cover off. I mean, yeah, it's not right. Once we've done that, then we put it into P02, which is minimum load. Wait for that to fire up with the probe out the boiler.
39.19 gross, 35.31.
Gas rate.
It's an imperial meter as well, which is different. 28 seconds.
So one of the other safety devices we check with the boiler running, just turn the gas off. And it should fault. And what it will do is it will try and light 3 times now. When it fails 3 times, then we'll get the error code. And there should be an error code to do with no gas, basically. So that's what we're looking for. There we go. operation failure, oil failed to start, ignition unsuccessful. So that's proved the sensors or the fail safes to do with that fault are working okay. So pop gas back on, reset it, then we'll do the same test by unplugging the fan. Okay, so reset that just with the reset button, wait for it to fire up again. Now, with that running, just pull the power on the fan. Oil should go out. Now we'll wait for it to try and light again. There we go. F32 fan fault, so that's proved that safety device is working. So we'll turn the power off, plug that back in and reset it. There we go. So now running the central heater. It's looking good. So we've got bi-directional TRVs. Marcus is going to explain these.
So the Danfoss are actually a proper directional TRV.
See that arrow there?
It's got what's called a revolver inside, so you feel which way is your flow and return. So this is actually the flow. You need the arrow on here to be flow. So you turn the revolver around to get the arrow the right way. So now the water's actually flowing. It's got like a cam inside that twists, if that sort of makes sense, to direct the water the proper way.
Yeah. And these just pop on and you just go twist it like that. Good gear. We like Danfoss valves, don't we?
Yeah, and you can get caps as well. I've got
These are the ones you can get your company name. Have you got one on them?
I've got one on the van, yeah. I'll get one in a minute.
So this one's that the same?
Yeah.
On the flow?
Yep, so now the water's coming in that way. Just stops them getting red hammer and cuts down on the whistling. Obviously with cheap TRVs, the only thing that stops them having water hammer is they just put a bigger spring in them. Not the best. Falling over.
Careful.
700. I wonder if that one would be better with a 450, so it clears your socket a bit better.
Yeah.
It's only a dressing room,
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
it?
I don't think it's even on at the moment. I don't.
700. So, dressing room.
Yeah, because that's a bit, yeah.
700. Okay.